맛있겠대.
Bay đấy hả?
go to the tram. Move it, move it, move it, move it. See you, Brad. Take care, bud. Come on,
And there's no rule called no copy. That's called cheating. You can't do this. You can't do that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Here's my do you?
Now do it. Do it. Come on, Rosie, come on. Hello, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Or sorry, good afternoon now. If you guys can hear me, can you please raise your hand? Thank you so much. If I'm too loud, can you keep those? So those doors are latched and not locked, so please do not lean on them. If you do have an emergency today, please let me know by the back two carts. Can push those yellow strips that are up on the top. Stay seated for the duration of the tour until I come to a full and complete stop. Then you guys can stand up and take pictures. And they're going to be doing what cats do best, and that's taking a cat nap. They're going to be resting so that they can reach speeds of up to 70 miles per hour. And to give you an idea of just how fast it actually is, driver for the next 25 to 30 minutes. They're going to be those gray puffballs that you see. Now they're that gray color to help them blend in with the mud around them. Unlike the adults, who use their pink coloring to blend in with each other for that flock mentality. Now they get that pink coloring from the food that they eat. Those microorganisms that are found in the mud. Now, if you can imagine eating a bag of Cheetos and getting that orange dust all over your fingers, it's kind of similar to what these birds experience. Except, unlike us, they can't wash their hands clean. They stay that color forever. So if you know the phrase, you are what you eat, that's what these flamingos embody.
We are back in East Africa.
As we go around on our tour today, we're going to see a lot of different animals and take a look at their adaptations. Now, we may see some adaptations that look a bit extra to us, like white circles or different colored coats and white rhinos. You guys are welcome to stand up to get a better view of them. But these southern white rhinos are in an exhibit known as that we can release back out into the wild. Now on our left-hand side, you'll be catching your first glimpse of the exhibit that we're going around today. You'll see some great white pelicans or Dalmatian pelicans on the island or on the dock, along with those little black birds that are neighboring cormorants. Now this was thought up by Dr. Schroeder. Dr. Schroeder was the founder of our park. He wanted the animals that we have here to be able to roam around and exhibit their natural qualities, interact with other species like they would out in the wild. But most importantly, he wanted us to be able to study those animals, learn how we could best help them. Because what we know, we love, and what we love, we want to help. So what you're seeing on your left-hand side is Dr. Schroeder's dream come to life. Now with a show of hands, who's it your first time visiting the park today? Oh, we got a couple. I hope you guys are enjoying your day. You'll be able to see some of our rappel vultures. Now these animals might not be the traditionally cute birds that you came to see here today, but they play a very important role out in the African savanna. So much so that they've earned the nickname as the garbage service of the savanna, because of their ability to die diseases without even feeling any of those symptoms, like anthrax. On our left-hand side, you'll be able to see some of our light lavender-coated Gemsbok antelope. If I go up a little bit further, you'll be able to see the rest of the herd underneath the shade of the tree, right in front of the circle of rocks. So all of the animals in this herd have horns, both the males and the females. And that's because resources are scarce where they come from. So they have to compete with each other to make sure that they get our Red River hogs. And they're actually doing what they do best, and that's tilling the soil. So while they're looking for their favorite brown sable antelope. And you'll notice that these animals all have horns as well, but it's actually for a different reason than for the light lavender-coated Gemsbok antelope. These sable antelope actually come from nutrient-rich areas, so they use their horns to mark their territory by scratching them on the ground, letting other sable antelope know that this is theirs. To the right of those sable antelope, you'll be able to see our wildebeest with their light gray coats and where to go. So the light lavender coat of those Gemsbok antelope, they're in the same shade of gray as the sandy environments that they live in. While the dark brown coats of the sable antelope help them live in the same or similar environments of the dark green grasses as the ellipse and waterbuck, turning to that same shade of gray.
Baby giraffe. Easy, baby giraffe.
Now underneath the tree on our left-hand side in the shade, you'll be able to see our giraffe.
Oh, giraffe house.
And these giraffes are built tall. They're built tall to be able to reach those trees and their leaves. But to give you an idea of just how tall they actually are, we could all walk underneath their stomachs without even skimming the bottom once they're full grown. But they also need a strong tongue to be able to pull those leaves off the trees. So if you touch the tip of your fingertips, lead it in just one. Thanks to us, citizen scientists, logging on in the exhibit. Now down on the valley, on our left-hand side, you'll be able to see our roan antelope with their mask-like faces. Now those mask-like faces actually serve to or that prey have eyes on the side, so they know when to hide. While predators have eyes in the front, so they know when to hunt.
Where is it then?
Back to that pond where we started, and then to this pond right here. That's about 100 acres. To give you an idea of just how big that actually is, that's relatively the same size as the San Diego Zoo. So the whole San Diego Zoo can fit on the area in your left. On your right-hand side, you'll see some of our red-fronted gazelle laying down. Now they both get their names from their red-orange coat that helps them blend in the shadowy areas that they live in. Habitat. To help them blend into that same shade of gray. Now if you look down in the valley or on the hillside on our left-hand side, underneath that first or the smaller tree at the fork of the road, you'll be able to see our greater kudu with their light tan coats and those white stripes that come down along their sides. And that's to help them camouflage into their home environment, with those white stripes mimicking the light coming through the tree's leaves. Now, if you look behind those greater kudu at the tree on the left-hand side, you'll be able to see our Ankole cattle sitting in the shade. But they're the other animals we've been seeing. Those horns are not natural. They were bred in by the farmers who raised them to show their status or wealth. So the Ankole cattle with the longer horns belonged to the farmers with the greater wealth and the better status. But if you look up on the hillside on our right-hand side, you'll be seeing some different plant life from the exhibit on our left. Not only will you get beautiful monarch butterflies and hummingbirds coming to your back door, but you'll also help these species spread the seeds all throughout Southern California, bringing this habitat back from the brink of extinction. Now down on the hillside, on our left-hand side, you'll be able to see our Patterson's eland, those light tan animals. Now the eland in general are the largest antelope species in the African savanna. And it's because they're so large, they get hot very quickly and very easily. So you'll notice hanging down from their neck, they have that extra flap of skin, which is known as a dewlap flap. And it works much like a radiator in a car to help them stay cool in the hot African sun. Dark black animals that you're seeing are a king buffalo. And now you'll think in a world of gray that these animals would want to blend in. But in reality, they want to stand out. That black color symbolizes strength, so they especially want to stand out to predators. Because that black coat lets those predators know that, hey, we're big and strong. Don't mess with us. We fight back. So they're able to be a little bit more relaxed than the other antelope we have here in our exhibit, laying their head down on the ground, becoming a little bit less alert, knowing that predators won't necessarily attack a group so large for fear of being hurt. Now those small antelope that you see on our left-hand side are our South African springbok. And you notice that they have that white stomach that continues on to underneath their tail. And that actually works as a warning system to predators. When they lift up their tail, that's a flash of white that predators can see, letting them know that, hey, you've been spotted, don't come any closer. Now on our right-hand side, as we go down this hill, I want to take a moment to thank you guys so much for coming to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Because we are a non-profit organization, the money that you guys spend. So thank you so much for coming to the park today, becoming heroes for wildlife. It truly means a lot. How we have native habitats here in our park as well. That lends us to have a lot of extra resources here at the park. Now these nests are made out of mud and sticks and rocks, and they're pretty impressive structures. Now if you're lucky, as you go throughout the rest of the day here at the park, you might catch some of our other neighbors, our mule deer, who like to come in for their favorite snacks. Now the birds that you see in the ravine on your right are our East African crown cranes, and they get their name from the crowns that sit atop their head. They actually serve those birds two purposes. The first is to help them blend in with the environment that they live, mimicking those reeds that they live within. And the second is for mating. So when we dress up in a tuxedo or a dress to impress our significant other, they dress up in those crowns. And I'd say they work pretty well, as those birds mate for life. Those shaggy brown animals that you see along the fence line or the wall are our Dafasa waterbuck. Very similar to our Lipson waterbuck with their shaggy brown coats that act much like wetsuits to help keep their skin dry. But if you look straight out on the mountainside in the valley between those two mountains, underneath the shade of the tree, you'll be able to see our southern white rhinos. Now those animals are also going through an extinction. They're being poached for their horns, because those horns across the globe are seen as medicine. But in reality, those horns are made out of the same thing as our fingernails and hair, keratin, and we get the majority of our medicine from plants. So one way for you to help stop these poaching efforts is by telling the people around you, your family, your friends, your coworkers, that these horns are not medicine. That they're of more importance to those rhinos than they are to us. And hopefully word will get out to those poachers and they'll stop those hunting efforts. But thank you so much for coming along on my tour today. Lions. Now, these animals don't usually come this far down. During the day because they have that air-conditioned rock at the front of their exhibit. Elephants, where you can watch them and learn more about one of the elephants that's on pregnancy watch. She's gonna have her baby here around the park, down here in Africa. You're welcome to turn left as you exit the Africa tram station and go in Africa. The ones that we didn't necessarily get to talk about. Those doors, you pull the black knob towards the hinge of the door or to the front of the tram. And that will open them right up. Letting you go about the rest of your day here at the park. Have a great rest of your day here at the safari park. Don't forget to stay hydrated and cool, because it gets pretty hot quickly. But thank you so much.
They're actually in a race for survival. Today, 2018, there are as little as 7,000 cheetahs left on the planet. The average person that might not sound like a very small number, but in reality, just 100 years ago, the cheetah population was closer to 100,000 cheetahs. The struggle out in Africa is because they're fighting the conflict with people. They're fighting that people are developing societies in the middle of carnivore ground. They're relying on agricultural practices in order to support their families.
What the feature of the day was the cheetah.
Now, the cheetah has developed a strategy.
Lại phải gãi lông cho nó đi con dâu. Do it. Just love eating maps. stop.
Yeah, that's good stuff there.
Things are blocked off right here. Don't touch it. Just go face down that way on the left.
The wallaby.
Từ look up. Có đẹp không Nguyễn?
Rồi bây giờ mới làm cái like thì hiện là
Dạ luôn vậy.
Đi làm cái bàn tắm đi. Bé, can you hold? Emily. Okay. Con gì? I started it.
Oh, the shoe.
You would go